Okay, so in this video, we're going to put together our round ornament, and we're going to begin by putting the main structure together. So I'm going to get these pieces out of the way here and start with our green section here. Okay, so we're going to begin with these two strips here, and what we're going to do is we're going to connect these two strips using that tab there at the bottom. Okay, so let me just make sure my glue's ready to go. And I'm going to fold that in and just put a nice amount of glue here on this tab. And just make sure that I get some glue out to the edge so that we have a nice clean seam. And just press and hold that down until it gets a good grip, and then you can fold it in half to make sure that we've got it nice and lined up, like so. And that looks good. So we've got this piece all glued together, and what we're going to go ahead and do is start folding these teeth over, because we're going to start putting together the main structure of this ornament. Okay, so actually, and before we do that, I want to show you here how this works. This is the green part here is what we're working on. So actually what we do want to do is kind of train this piece a little bit so that it curves. Okay, so this is going to be that point there, and we want it to curve out this way but then come back around this way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the paper from like right here and run that across my desk to kind of give it a natural curve like that. And then I'm going to take it the other way and run it across my desk to give it a curve like that. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but we do want to kind of get it trained somewhat just to make the gluing process easier. Okay, you can do this with a dowel if you want, but we kind of just want it like that. Okay, so that's just partially trained. All right, so you can go ahead and get these teeth ready. And I think this kind of reminds me of putting together the handle in our St. Patrick's Day bundle. I don't know how many of you actually did that one, but I know a few of you did, quite a few of you did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start on one side here, and I'm just going to start putting glue on these teeth. I'll do a few at a time. Probably won't be able to do all of them. And then I'm just going to take that point and make sure that you've got it right there in that corner, and just get those teeth lined up nicely in there. You can push from the outside here as you push down from the inside here, and just work that curve. Okay. Push down so it kind of looks like that. Okay, and then you can go ahead and flip these teeth over to get glue on the rest of them. And I'm just going to put glue on the rest of these because I should be able to get them all, I think. If not, we can always go back and add some more glue. Put it back down on my desk and just curve it around. And again, just kind of use a few fingers behind it to kind of push up against this piece here, and that is going to make this whole process so much easier. Okay, all right, so there we go. So we've got that, and that's how that should look. Okay, so now that we've got one part of that wall built, we're going to grab this piece here, okay, and this is going to be the inside here. Okay, so we do want to kind of train this a little bit, so I'm going to grab it by these two sides here and just run it across my desk. Okay, just really gently, just to kind of give it a little bit of a curve. Okay, and then we can go ahead and glue this tab to the other side. Okay, just like that. And just hold that down until it's nice and dry. Okay. And then you can go ahead and push these teeth down. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this green piece and we're going to pop that inside to kind of create like a little crown sort of. Okay, so go ahead and put glue on all these little teeth. And I'm doing this on a piece of paper so that I don't get glue all over my desk, and so that I don't, these teeth are small, so you don't want to sit there and try to get it perfect onto each little tooth, but you can definitely just put glue in there, and then once you have it in there, just push down and make sure that all those little teeth grip nicely. Okay. There we go. Make sure they all get a good hold, and that's good. That's good enough. Okay, we're going to cover that up later, so it's not the end of the world if there's a little bit of glue sticking out. And we're going to push these teeth out, okay? And the way this works is we're going to slide that in there, and we're going to glue that down like so. So we can go ahead and again, this is actually going to be covered up, so if there is a little bit of a mess on there, it's not the end of the world. So we're going to go ahead and put glue on these teeth now. I kind of designed this so that it goes together, but then you don't have to be super meticulous with stuff, and it'll cover up nicely. Okay, so doesn't matter since this is a round piece, just kind of pop it on there and just run your finger along the edge here just to make sure that you got everything nice and lined up. Okay, just like that. Okay, so let's take a look at our final product here. And it looks like we missed a few, and it's okay, we can go in and touch it up. It's not a big deal. And push those down, and then just put that back on my desk and just push down. Okay. All right, so far so good. We've got the majority of this thing in place here. Okay, and everything's aligning nicely. So we can go ahead and, I'm gonna move this out of the way so I don't make a huge mess. And I'm gonna grab a new sheet of paper here. Okay, so at this point we can go ahead and glue this other side in place. So I'm just putting dots of glue on these teeth here, and I'm just going to run it underneath this piece. And actually it helps if you just kind of do it in little segments. So I'm just going to start with this half here. Okay, so like we did before, just kind of pushing from this side while pushing down from the inside to get all this stuff to stick. Okay. And I'm going to pop this out and reapply my glue. So as you saw there, you probably just want to do half of it and then do the other half, because the glue, especially mine, tends to dry pretty quickly, hence quick drying. And we're just popping that under and then running your finger along the inside to get everything to hold. It's not a very difficult piece. It's actually kind of fun, especially knowing that you can do it too. It makes it really fun. Okay, so that's what that piece is going to look like, and we'll put the top on it towards the end here. Okay, so half the ornament is done, and at this point what we want to do is want to grab this piece here, okay, and again we have this piece here, and we want to connect it like this. Here's our texture side. So again, I'm going to just train this slightly to kind of give it a natural curve. First time I did this against my table, and I think it's actually easier to do it with your fingers. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put glue on this guy here. And just wrap it around, make sure that it's nice and aligned properly. Okay. There we go. All right, and just like we did the first time, I'm gonna push these teeth in. Okay, and we'll grab our other green piece. And I'm gonna go off to the corner here of my sheet of paper and put my glue down on these teeth. I'm gonna pop this green piece in here, just like that. Okay. So far, so good. Okay, and I need to clean this up a little bit. Just put a nice little line of glue in there. Push that back down. Just kind of hold it until it really sticks. Okay, so that looks good. And then we can go ahead and close that up. So we'll get these teeth out. Okay. And we're gonna pop that in again like that. Because see, what we're gonna do eventually is cover this up. Okay, so those teeth are not gonna be visible. So it's so much easier to do it this way than to try to glue it with the tabs underneath. This is just almost effortless. You don't even have to be careful with your glue. Okay, so let me move that out of the way. I want my texture side out. And since this is round, it doesn't matter. There's no like specific place it needs to go. Should fit no matter what, no matter how you glue it. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. How cool is that? Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. And you can go in and touch up these little pieces that maybe didn't stick. Okay, I'm just going to continue on here. And at this point, we can go ahead and put it on top. So we're gonna close this shape up now. There we go. Okay. And with this piece, I've found that it's probably best to just start at the center there. And this one's gonna involve a little bit of kind of scooching things around to make sure that you've got it nice and aligned. You gotta kind of work kind of quick here because this glue is gonna dry. Okay, so go ahead and pop this thing into place and just push down. Start by kind of making sure that the bottom is nice and aligned and then work your way up. Okay, once the glue gets its initial hold, this process becomes a little bit easier. And if you need to, which I found that I had to, there were a few spots where it didn't grip as well as I wanted it to. So what I had to do is grab like a pin or something really skinny and just get some extra glue into those places just to make sure that it holds. But you can see how I'm just kind of scooching things in here to get it to hold nicely. Okay, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of pressure here. I want that to be nice and perfect. And here is the top now. And what you want to do is glue this piece on top to close that off. Okay, so at this point, you can do it either way. You can start. Okay, so at this point, you can go ahead and grab your decorative piece here and put some glue on it. And it's important that you get some glue out to the edges. Doing a nice clean seam there. And we're just going to cover that up beautifully. Just like that. And just run your finger along the edge here just to make sure that it gets a good grip. Okay, so you're going to do that to the other side as well. Okay, it's double-sided obviously. And then you can go ahead and glue this decorative piece on here. Okay, so I don't need to show you that. That's where that goes. And then we have this decorative piece here. Now you can see here that there's the little design starts, the cutouts start lower on this side than they do up here. This is going to be the bottom. Okay, so you want to start gluing at the bottom and work your way up like that. So these two pieces, when you do glue them down, they will overlap at the top. Okay, so, and that's by design. So don't think you did anything wrong if they overlap. Okay, so also, you're going to have two circles that you're going to glue to the inside here. And Ron and I kind of both thought about this at the same time. You could technically cut someone's picture out of that piece and put it inside that little circle there. Okay, so you're going to get that glued into place there. And then we've got this piece here, okay, and as you can see, this piece is going to go inside there. So what you do want to do is kind of train it between your fingers just to help it kind of start to curve, okay, because it does need to kind of curve. Okay, so just kind of run that between your fingers to get it to kind of assume this position here like that. Okay, and then what I did was I kind of put it flat, and then I started just putting little dots of glue along the strip, and then one little dot on each of the little scalloped sections as well. And then you just kind of lay it in there. Just grab it and grab it like that and pop it in there. Okay, so that's what that piece should look like. And of course, you're going to repeat that process on the other side as well. And we did cut out of gold foil this little star that we popped out it in the middle. And then all that's really left to do is assemble this little piece here, which is the little topper that you put your string on. So that's pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is just take some glue and put some glue on this piece here and wrap it around to the other side. Just hold that in place while it dries. Okay, we do have a second piece for reinforcement for the actual holes here. So I think the best thing to do would be to glue that on the outside. Okay, so we can go ahead and close this structure up. And again, as I mentioned with the previous videos for the previous ornaments, you want to go ahead and put your string through this before you glue it to the top of your ornaments, because it might be a little difficult to try to do it when this thing's completely closed up. Unless you're just using, you know, like a paper clip with a little hook on it or something, then that's fine. But if you're using string, you want to go ahead and feed your string through at this point to make it easier. So you could technically slide this piece inside and glue it from the inside, or you can glue it to the outside. And once you have your string through there, go ahead and close this up by putting glue on these tabs and closing that up. And then you're basically going to put glue on the bottom of this and just glue it to the top of the ornament. Okay, and I'll show you what the final one looks like here in just a second. So that's what our final one looks like here. Okay, we just glued that piece right to the top. And there you go.
Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.